Well, welcome back to our Wednesday Walkabouts. I haven't done one of these in a while for reasons that you guys are well aware of, and I am so happy to just be outside on this beautiful day, especially Stuart, because why? We recently got some rain. Now, we didn't get enough, but we got enough that it really kind of refreshed things. It at least moistened the top couple of inches of soil, and I think we have some more on the way coming maybe on Friday. I hope so, because we desperately need more, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I am just so thrilled that we got some rain. So stuff looks a little more fresh. Now, I am not doing a whole lot this year. I told you I gave up. I decided to dispense with the pumpkins after the squirrels consumed most of them while I was in the hospital, and I'm not going to put out any more, and I'm just going to do really fall light. I'm just enjoying the simple pleasures. And one of my simple pleasures right now is that I had my friend Victor come. We cleaned up a bunch of the leaves, we tidied stuff up, we cut the dead wood out of some of my evergreens and things, and basically all I want right now is for stuff to just look well kept and fresh, and it does that after the rain we got. So now let's come up here, Stuart. And despite the fact that it was such a harsh summer, because as I said, I think we only had rain one time in maybe 4 months before this most recent rain. But look at some of these evergreens over here are starting to look a little bit better. That Nellie Stevens holly, all of my foster hollies that took such a hit in the ice storm at Halloween. It's almost the anniversary of that. They're starting to come back out, and now they just look like they have just taken a great big deep breath because they got some moisture. So let's come up here. Oh, and of course, the only thing blooming in my garden right now, I have my Encore azaleas are still putting out just a few pretty blooms. And maybe my new favorite is this intermediate height white Encore. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But now come up to my porch. We have yet, it's been a little bit, we have kissed 32, but we haven't fully committed to it. So we haven't had, and I don't think you've had one at your house, have you, Stuart? A hard freeze?
I saw 32, but I didn't see
Yeah, so, and I don't think we have one anytime in the near future. So I still feel good about leaving my hoses connected, and a lot of my annuals are still performing. So I'm not really doing much with the window box. I'm not putting a bunch of pumpkins and things in here for reasons I have expressed to you ad nauseum, but the coleus is looking good. I've taken lots of cuttings of it. The plumbago still looks good, and it's holding its own, and that's all I really want and expect of it right now until I get ready to plant my pansies, which I have ordered. I just ordered 14 flats of the, I believe it's the Ocean Blue mix. I put it in the community tab. If you guys are interested, what that is, you can Google it and see what it looks like. And everything else up here is looking pretty good. My Oakland holly that I planted in here to replace something that died this summer is looking great. But now I need your help with some other things. So here's my question of the day. I put in these massive urns, and you guys saw them when they still looked pretty after I had autumnalized them, and I had a bunch of pumpkins in here, which were in short order consumed when I wasn't here to protect them from the squirrels while I was in the hospital. And I've still got this jasmine vine growing, but pretty soon it is not cold tolerant. I don't know if I'll dig it up and save it or not, but that one is looking pretty ragged, and this one is looking overgrown. So I do want to plant something in here for winter interest, and that's kind of my question of the day is, what should I put in here? Now I'm thinking about just some Southern Living baby gem boxwoods to put in here. I might even start to form fit them to the two tours. I may put smaller sized ones in here and surround them with some pansies. I'm not really sure, but I could also do some other smaller hollies. I could fill them completely with pansies. which wouldn't look so great during the winter, but when the temperatures were moderate, they'd still look pretty good, and I could plant bulbs in them, but I'm more inclined towards an evergreen. So I want you guys' input. So that's my question of the day. If you were me, what would you plant for winter interest and maybe future thinking towards spring in urn number 1? This one already has a topiary in it. Urn number 2 here. Sorry, Stuart.
Already has a topiary.
Okay, and urn number 3. And you can see this guy is really looking bedraggled. Now I've had these for bedraggled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, see, it's tired and bedraggled. And this one, it's been so extremely windy that this tutor is blown over. I didn't secure it tightly enough.
I can guess what bedraggled means, but what does
Oh, bedraggled, it just looks tired and unkempt.
Okay.
Yes, like me sometimes. But bereft and bedraggled. Kind of like I've looked most of the time since you've seen me in the past several weeks, Stuart. So that's what I want to know from you guys. A little bit about these urns. I've had these for years, and years ago, I kind of advanced aged them. I distressed them a little bit. But these weren't expensive, and you can sometimes find these at Lowe's. I love them because they're concrete. I can put a number of them on the brick wall, but look for them at Lowe's. And by the way, that's a tip. Look at Lowe's because recently they have had some really good concrete, faux stone and stone pots, bird baths, and things like that there recently, or at least at my Lowe's. So you guys might want to check them out because their price point is always good. And then by all means, check your Better nurseries and things for more unusual pots. And by Better nurseries here and garden centers, I would mention Calvert's, because remember that wonderful tour we took of Calvert's. We might want to put a link to that up at the end of the video. So that's just a brief overview, Stuart. Do a little bit of pan of the front. Even the hellebores, which were starting to flag, have bounced back a little bit. And they'll, of course, be spectacular next spring. I need to divide them. And by the way, an upcoming video that we're going to be doing over the course of the next month is what plants are making my short list for when I start a new garden, hopefully maybe next year. So you'll want to pay attention to that. Okay, Stuart, now let's hop from the front to the back. Well, we may have gotten rain, but that doesn't mean that when it's been really windy and the temperatures are still warm, that I don't still need to water. And I'm so glad that I did these planters, even though they too look bereft and bedraggled right now, Stuart, because they needed to be watered. But I'm so glad that I planted these, because this is one of the few things that has been kind of a focal point and gives me some fall interest in my garden since I'm doing gardening light this year. So I think they still, I'll give them a little bit more TLC later. I'll cut them back, save some more of the coleus. But once those perk up and start flying right, they'll be beautiful again. And I moved them from over there where that mum is, Stuart. You can see over here. They used to be over here. And we did a video on putting them together. These mums are pretty much spent. And by the way, yes, I am going to keep these mums. I love the color, and I will plant these in the ground. But I moved those other planters with a coleus and etc. in them from here to there because I can more easily see them from my kitchen window, and they were wanting a little bit more light. So I moved them over there, and I'm so happy that Victor was here because he was able to kind of blow all the leaves and kind of clean this area up. Because right now, again, all I'm going for is tidy because I want this outdoor living space to be tidy because now the temperatures are finally looking good and we are starting to eat outside again and really enjoy the outdoor temperatures, listening to some football, sitting outside, having a beer, having a glass of wine in the evening. And then you can see that pretty soon I've got my little fire grate. This is my very original fire grate that the plant stands in my QVC line were modeled after. I spray painted this one black, but this is my original grate. So in the bistro area, we can kind of sit here and it's starting to get nice, and I'll have some throw blankets and things. And this is a great place to read when it's chilly and it's just one of those perfect autumn days. So you guys have seen that before, but the bistro probably gets more of a workout in the fall than at any other time. And I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but Stuart, if you can, I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast.
I was trying to show them the bistro, and it's funny, we ended up intersecting.
Yes, intersecting. So really, you can see that the hostas are a little bit wind battered and heat battered, but the heucherellas, those southern living plants, are starting to come out more, and especially these. The heucherellas, for me, I have found to be a much better container plant, particularly in window boxes, than they are in my heavy clay soil. So thank you, Southern Living. I probably need to get more of those. And the other thing that I'm doing is I'm just now starting to put away. So I have left this one out here so that I can kind of use it as show and tell. So you guys know I use lots of plant stands, and I'm getting ready to put all of these up and in storage, and I'm putting those up, but I'm starting to bring out my lanterns. And Stuart, how many times have you and I promised that we're going to do a nighttime walkabout with all of my lanterns lit, and then we haven't gotten to it? That's Stuart's fault. I did clean out the bird bath so I can put some clean water in it, because pretty soon it'll be time to start feeding the birds. And Matt on our team has been wanting me to do something with Wild Birds Unlimited. Is that who you keep wanting me to do something with, Matt?
I thought that'd be cool.
No, I think it would be great because we love our avian friends, and especially in the wintertime, though we've had, despite the fact that it's been really hot, we've had really great bird life in my garden this year. Pretend like these are beautiful and hydrated. And then you can see all of these other plant stands where I have removed my myrtle topiaries, tabletop topiaries. Those are all on the plant rack by my back door because those are getting ready to come in, and I'm going to give them a really good once over, checking them for bugs and pests before I bring them in. Now, one thing that I am not doing this year, because it has been just a really, really difficult season, one thing I am not going to do, which I sometimes do, but I am not this year, I am not going to cut back some of my perennials. I'm not going to cut back a lot of my Veronica or this stand of phlox, some of the other ones that I have growing in and around the potager. And why? I'm not going to cut them back because our weather has been so extreme, and we might have really extremely cold temperatures, and it's been so dry that I want to leave all of that foliage in place to give them even that much more insulation in case it's really, really cold, and to protect their crowns from drought, or in case it gets really excessively rainy, I'm just going to leave them there. And likewise, I am not going to do anything else in the potager. No more pruning on the boxwood. It is still trying to recover from our really horrific summer. And this is going to be kind of out of sight, out of mind until I get ready to do some bulb planting. You'll notice that I have put up all of my olive trees that they had to go under cover because they're not frost hardy. A lot of some of my herb plantings, a lot of my dragonwing begonias, I've put all of those in to save for next year. And lastly, I'm going to end up with this, because let me tell you, it's been hard for me to resist cutting this off. because it's broken the profile of the shapes that I want here. But I have left this just for you, my followers, because this is how you make a double tier topiary.
I didn't even know you could do it with holly.
Yes, you can. And so this one branch I have let go long, and notice up here it's starting to fill out. So I could transform this into two different types of a double form or even a triple form topiary. And here's how I would do that. If I wanted to make a second tier, I would just remove these leaves. I would pinch this out at the tip and pinch this out at a tip, let all of this fill out and get bushy, and then I would have separation between this ball and this ball I'm creating on top, because I've got a really good strong central stem. Or I could create the second ball, which is kind of a fun thing, and I haven't done it before, and if I were going to do it with this is how I would do it. I would create the second ball to sit directly on top of the bottom ball with no separation in between, and if I wanted to do that, I would probably prune it here and let this start filling out, so I would have one ball, a larger ball, and then I would have a smaller ball right on top. So there's a couple of different ways I can do it. If I wanted this to grow into a triple tier, then I would probably trim both of these back, let this section fill into a second ball, let this continue to grow, then pinch it out at the top, the terminal bud, and then have a small third ball. So that is how you take one existing plant that looks like this and you transform it into a topiary that is kind of a poodle shape that may have one or more additional balls on top of it. Stuart, did I make that understandable?
It made sense to me.
Okay, so that's how you do it, and this was the perfect example, and I wanted to share it. And look, I have one last blooming iris. That's one of my Brex iris. That's a rebloomer, and it has some spotted cucumber beetles on it because we have not had a hard frost. But that's one more little gift. It's amazing how much you appreciate the things that are in bloom when there's not a whole lot of other things in bloom. Right now, I am just enjoying the nice temperatures. I'm really enjoying being inside, and I have all sorts of fun videos coming up where we're going to be cooking from the garden and making some really savory comfort food meals for fall. You guys take care. Well, if you've held on this long, this is a really special outfit of the day because I think it's the first time I've worn kind of semi-real clothes in a while, and by that I mean anything that buttons at the waist. So this is a special episode from top to bottom. My sunglasses are Ray-Ban Aviators, and by the way, I think a good pair of, whether they're inexpensive or they're real Ray-Bans, I think a really good pair of aviators should be an essential part of your wardrobe. So my gold tone aviators are top of my outfit. My earrings are so fun because my friend, yes, my friend Elizabeth at Atrios Tile
Hold
sent.
there, I want to get the inside.
Okay, can you get the inside?
Yeah, they're cool.
She just makes these gorgeous, gorgeous earrings using real elements of Portuguese tiles, and she sent me these as a gift along with a really beautiful ring I'll be showing you later. You guys know she is one of my very favorite jewelry designers. Stuart will put a link at the end and in the description. Love, love, love her. She's definitely going to be tops on my Christmas list suggestions. My sweater, it's kind of one of these loose cotton sweaters. I got this from Banana Republic recently. It's kind of oversized. I like it because it's great for this betwixt and between weather where it's still kind of warm out in the afternoon but chilly in the morning. I've got on another essential. This is just a Hanes t-shirt that I got online. I'll put a link to that too. Really good white t-shirts in bulk I think are good essentials. My necklaces I have showed you before. These are just some 18 carat gold.
They're shining. more today than
Shining,
normal.
okay, but they're but overlay, and I got these also online. Let's see, what else do I have going on? My breeches are stretch Levi jeans. I think I got these off of Poshmark. Love Mean boots, and it is
color.
definitely boot weather again. I got these. These are Merry boots. You guys know I love them, and these socks are really fun. And these are practically every year on my stocking stuffer list of recommendations. I get them for my kiddos, both the guys and the gals, and I will put a link to those. And let's see, my bracelets. These are African glass beads. I got this other bracelet. I think I got that at a thrifted store, and then just a hodgepodge of bracelets. But this is my most recent addition. I wanted one that had a little bit more heft, and I got this online. Stuart, we're going to have lots of links for this outfit of the day today. And this is Janet Mavick, my little orchard jewelry bulb, or bird rather, bird bracelet. And just a bangle, and then of course my indispensable Apple Watch. So there you go. There is my outfit du jour.